Okay, I've brought you to my home gym this morning. Okay, you can't see it, but there's a few weight things on how this is to get so big. So I'll show you how much exercise. Bicep curl. Hey, start in, weight in, curl it all the way up and all the way down. Let's do 3 reps. 2. A little tired. Yeah. What happens? All right, so yeah, you're right. Nobody ever asked me how I get in such good shape. I actually get made fun of a lot for my skinny arms, but why was I just doing curls in my unfinished, ugly basement? Well, let me tell you. This week, you're going to do something called the Work and Power Olympics. So you got to do some exercises and figure out how much work and power you are doing or performing in order to do those exercises. All right. So we have to go through a few calculations to get to that point. All right. If you remember, work equals force times distance. All right. Well, I just did some curls and I got to get to this, but I don't really have that with what I just did. So I got to do some calculations. So first of all, I just lifted. I had a bar. I had 50 pounds on. So we're going to say it's probably like 52 pounds, but I'm going to keep it at 50 right now. All right. So the first thing I need to figure out is, well, pounds is not a metric unit, right? Pounds is something we use here in America. We're a little weird. All right. So I need to get that to kilograms. Easy conversion. If I take 50 pounds and I divide it by 2.2, okay, that will give me kilograms. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to give me 22.75 kilograms. So 50 pounds is equal to 22.73 kilograms. Excuse me, 73. Okay, so anytime you have pounds, if you divide that by 2.2, that'll give you kilograms. Now, if you remember from a previous unit, force equals mass times acceleration. Well, when you are moving something up and down, we're going to use this number 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, 9.8 meters per second squared is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so I was actually moving that weight against gravity. There's something pulling it down. I'm moving it against that gravity. So I can use this as my acceleration. So to get my force, I would just say force equals mass, 22.75 kilograms, times acceleration. So let's put this in. Force equals 22.75 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. And let me check my math here. That's going to give me 222.75 75 newtons. And that's going to be my force. And I'm going to use that here in a moment. My distance, when I was doing my curls, I moved it from the very bottom of my arms to the very top of my arms, okay, as I was going up and down. Now, I measured that with an easy, simple tape measure. It's about 30 inches, okay? Now, 30 inches, again, this is not a metric unit. This is not something we're going to use in science class. So I have to get this to meters. First thing I would do is I would take this and I would convert it to centimeters, all right? And it's about 76 centimeters. It's not right on the money, but I'm going to round it to there for now, okay? But if you remember, to do our work calculations, I have to have this in meters. So there's 100 centimeters in a meter. If I just move the decimal point, I know that 76 centimeters equals 0.76 meters. All right. But how many reps did I just do downstairs? Well, I think I did 3, up and down 3 times. My arms are still a little tired. All right. So if I just take 0.76 times 3, should be pretty simple math, but let me just check it and make sure. 0.76 times 3. This gives me 2.28 meters. Okay, so now I have the distance and I have the force. So can I figure out work? Absolutely. I say work equals force times distance. So let's plug them in. 222.75 newtons times 2.28 meters. And that is going to give me, let me go ahead and do this, 222.75 times 2.28, 507.87 joules. Remember, that's our unit for work, is joules. All right. So I have the work. My next thing I got to figure out is how much power did I use. So my power equals work divided by time. Well, I just figured out the work. The work is 507.87 joules. My time, I didn't time it down there, but let's pretend. Let's say it took 5 seconds. All right. When you guys do your assignment this week, you'll have to time the exercises you're doing. So you'll be able to do that. But power equals work divided by time. So I'm going to say power equals 507.87 joules divided by 5 seconds. So 507.87 divided by 5. This tells me that the amount of power that I used to do those curls was 101.57 watts. Okay, so in order to do the curls down there, as I was sculpting the guns, all right, 101.57 watts of power was used to do 507.87 joules of work in 5 seconds. So use this video as a guide to help you with your assignment this week. You're going to choose an exercise, and I'll have another video on your HyperDoc that allows you to see exactly what you're going to do with that assignment.